Hey guys, it's Akari from OmniGeometry here and from One Mandala. We are creating sacred geometry apps for people to help connect to what I believe to be the structure of our reality, sacred geometry. With our apps you can create sacred geometry patterns, real time, play with them, understand and feel intuitively how certain sacred geometry patterns exist in all of our reality. So this is a big goal with our apps, is to enable people this connectivity to what I believe to be the actual underlying structure behind our reality. So I just want to shortly share my story, like tell where I come from, why I'm still working on these apps over 15 years, 16 years already. So I started seeing these patterns when I started awakening spiritually in 2008, I think. I would go to sleep, but I would not fall asleep. At that time, I was very stressed in my life, my work. I had a lot of work, and I had trouble sleeping, and I would go into the state of hypnagogic awareness, where my body is totally relaxed, but my brain is aware what is happening before I fall asleep. So my body was falling asleep during that time, but my mind was aware what is happening. And in that state where the body is asleep, but the mind is aware, I started to see what happens when I go to sleep. Where does my soul go to when I sleep? And I could start to see, get these downloads of like geometric patterns coming to me. I could see them hovering on top of my bed, like there were these clouds of geometry on top of my bed there, telling me something. Like I was feeling this, like some message was brought to me during that time. And during that time also I somehow became very aware, very lucid in my dreams. I could map very awarely what is happening in those different stages of reality where we go when we go to sleep, where our soul travels. I could see the different levels going from a realm of dead souls into lower realms, going upwards one level at a time, like traveling through a series of concentrated rings that had a hole in them. I would always have to find the hole where I would go to the next level, and I was very aware. And at the very highest level I could see like angels and very angelic beings, and then even beyond that I could see it like a realm of limitless possibilities, like this, like total space of possibilities beyond anything. And this whole experience of seeing these geometric patterns for over a period of 3 months, seeing them clouds of geometry hovering over me, like receiving downloads, I was really mystified what is happening. And it really put me in this journey of spiritual awakening. I started to question everything in my life. And later I theorized that this was a indigenous DMT flow in my brain happening. So in spiritual traditions they talk about the Kundalini awakening. It rises to your spine, to your brain. So I think this is what happened to me, like without any external drugs or anything like that. And I was actually initiated into the spirit world during that time, understanding what is happening in the unseen worlds. I could see during that time also like demons attacking me, like they were trying to really break me down. I could see violence and death and all of kind of these kind of even horrific visions of our reality. But I managed to get out of that by first I tried to fight these demons I saw, but they just multiplied. I had my astral sword or something. For some reason I had this, always have this very natural way of acting in these astral projection states. It's been very natural to me. So I would start fighting these demons and so on, but they would just multiply. But at the end of my period of that time, I understood that, okay, I have to love these demons. I have to love whatever negativity is coming at me. So that ended this period of seeing these geometry patterns and receiving these downloads. But later on, that that put me on the path of developing these softwares, because I started getting interested in numbers very much. How do numbers work? What is behind the symbols of our numbers? I'm a very deep intuitive thinker, or I've always wanted to see what is behind the scene, so to speak. I've always wanted to understand computers, how do they work really on a deep level. So I wanted to understand numbers now. I'm an engineer, I use numbers every day, but still I didn't know what the symbols mean. So I started visualizing numbers, and I wanted to see the relationship between the patterns. I wanted to see why 3 and 5, why they have a different symbol, and how come 3 becomes number 3 like this, but 5 is 5 like this. So I started visualizing simple polygonal shapes, and slowly I got into a state where I could draw this kind of recursive patterns. Like I would first visualize, for example, 3 like as this kind of shape, then I would visualize 5 as this kind of shape, and I could see like the relationship between these in this way. But what really made it interesting was adding fractality to the app. So meaning I could add like fractality, how the shape starts to copy itself around itself. Like in 3 you can see it creates 3 these kind of children, and in 5 it creates 5, and how these patterns, when I change the ratios like this, why does this come an interesting shape here when these connect, and this also with a certain setting. So this is why my brain got like a very good feeling when I would do this interaction. Like I could find these, look at that for example, I could find these patterns that spoke to my mind, and I could find quickly beautiful flower-like patterns from those configurations. And this is like what gave my brain like a good feedback, like wow, this just came out of you know, it came out of this shape with just some parameters like that. And then we have this another shape here, and yeah, and I added like so that you copy the layers like this. So I'm not copying the same layer, changing some parameter on that. Let's change the color a bit like that, and quickly I would start to get these beautiful formations that spoke to me. Like they really like gave me like a good feeling when I would create these patterns. So this is the process that led to me to continue developing this app, and we put it online in 2011, or I put it online 2011. So I had this intuition that okay, this is a good day to put this app out, to grow it into from a seed, to plant the seed, grow it into a big tree of beautiful flowers that will give us the fruit of life, so to speak. So yeah, I'm on this path still, and we've been working on this app for now almost you know, over 15 years. In 2007 we made this app commercial with my co-founder Gustavo here, and since then we've been iterating on this app, and now we're close to actually getting version 1.5.0 beta 2, actually 1.5.0. So we have been working a lot in the past, or I have been working a lot in the past 2 months on our app, thanks to the evolution of AI, LLMs, large language models. So with the help of especially Claude AI, we have been able to continue work on this app without having too much pain, because it's already a 15-year-old code base. There were a lot of pain points there that made it very difficult to do it by hand, but with the help of AI I've been able to refactor the code, put everything into place in a way that we can now continue developing in the app. So AI is very good in refactoring, so I'm happy about that. There were some, we had to, if I wanted to add any drawing features due to having to have like a PDF export feature, I would have had to add it 2 times in our code base because we needed like a TypeScript version and a JavaScript version of our code to support the PDF vector library. But now we have unified everything into one code path, and a lot of stuff like that we have done during the past 2 months. So I'm really happy about that. So I just wanted to say that that's pretty cool actually, like pretty cool hexa. So during the 2 past months we've been adding a lot of new features to our app, and I wanted to show you some cool ones I've been working on. So first big thing, spiral drawing feature. So here we have poly, which is the default polygonal layer with recursion and many parameters that really powered the app until its whole lifetime. But now we have spirals, which actually I created the issue for spirals already in 2015 that we need spiral drawing, but oh yeah, it took us 11 years to get there. So now we have spiral feature here. So we can do like drawing of spiral layers. So we can have 2 kinds of type. We don't have icons as this is a beta version, but we can do logarithmic, which means the spiral grows like with a what do you call it? With a golden ratio curve here. And then we have Archimedean, which means the spiral grows with a constant ratio. So these are the 2 types of spirals we have now, and we have like you can adjust them real time here. Everything is real time in OmniGeometry, and everything is vectors. We can adjust the length of the spiral, and I can use also keyboard shortcuts, which is like more intuitive way. So we always have the keyboard shortcuts here, and we have the spiral start, which means where the point where it starts from to draw. I'll show you if you copy this layer with the keyboard C. I can do adjust the start like this, and you can see how it affects the drawing. And of course we can change the length like this, and we can of course change like the type and see how that looks. It's a little bit different, and we can change the colors here also. Like I can choose the layer here with the keyboard, and let's shift the hue a little bit here with this rotate color hue feature. So already we got something interesting going on there. Like you can see, wow, that's a nice shape happening there. Let's actually save that. That's a cool spiral wave. No, I've already done that. Let's do. So then we have start angle, like I said, and arm count. So let me display that with just one layer. I'll delete the others with the keyboard. And now we have the arm count here, which means the spiral starts to draw multiple arms at once. And with this, when we change the length, and let's set the spiral start to 0, like that. And let's change to Archimedean so it comes from the center. So now we can see like interesting stuff here. This is like a traditional, this starts to look like the tree scale pattern that the Vikings used as a protection symbol. A little bit like that. And with this you can actually do that pattern. And oh yeah, that's still 2. So now it's from the center. So with this we can do like that, and we can also like are the points, which means we will have to have this base point drawn here. With this we can always have like a area for the circle like that. But let's disable that. But from here you can somewhere find the tree scale for sure, like that or something. Well, that's not close to it, but anyway. So let's disable that, and let me show you something interesting. So now we have also like the curvature parameter, so I can change how the spiral curves. It's maybe easier if you have one arm, and let's increase the length like that. And now if I change this curvature, we can see interesting things. So I can copy that. Let's change that. Copy. Let's change the hue. Copy that. Oops, wrong key. Then change that. Copy again. Change again. Copy again. And you know, you can do stuff like that. And wow, that's already a beautiful shell shape. Let's save that. Shell shape. And you can do real-time stuff. You can animate these spiral layers, of course. Let's try logarithmic curve. So with the logarithmic, it's a little bit different how it curves. You can see it like coming from there, like that, and the length changes. So you can do pretty interesting stuff with the spirals. And everything can be animated, of course. So I can do rotating animation and increase the rotation velocity. And of course with OmniGeometry you can do this tracing feature, so you can do these interesting patterns with the tracing with the spirals. So you can already see like, wow, that's beautiful stuff. So yeah, that's a quick look at the spirals. You can do interesting stuff. Let me show you something else still. Like you can of course find the traditional swastika, which is actually like a peace symbol in Hinduism, and some people have just taken over this pattern and now people are afraid of it, which is kind of silly. It's just a pattern of energy. It's a pattern of energy distribution, very natural, but of course people can't think too far when they think about these things, so they think oh no, it's the evil people symbol. But anyway, start angle to 0 so we can see it again. This is a very natural symbol, and you can increase the arm count to create these kind of all kinds of interesting patterns and see how they live when you adjust. So I can do like, wow, that's already a beautiful, nice pattern there. So this OmniGeometry is all about interaction, finding patterns, seems that something that works for you and gives you a good feeling. Like that's like a star spiral 0. So that's a spiral feature shortly. And then we have another new feature is like, let's use this shape. We have grid locking, which people have been asking for a long time. So here you have a circular grid, and you have like a traditional grid, which means when I move the layers, I can lock them to the grid setting. So I can increase the grid and decrease the grid and so on. So now I can easily copy these around the grid without having to manually position them, you know. This is very cool. This is very cool. So let me show you with let's delete the rest of these layers, and we have a hexagonal grid. Let's increase that a little bit. We can do like this kind of stuff easily now. Beautiful this kind of filling the space. Well, maybe that's too much, but we can do it like that. So now you can see like that kind of support, and Then we have the circular grid, which is pretty interesting and good, which means we can now lock the layer to the center like that, to the 90-degree angle, 180-degree angle, 270-degree angle, and these spots between them easily. And you can use also the keyboard. So with the keyboard moving, it's a little bit different. You can rotate it around with the left and right, and up and down takes you further down the circle. So this gives you like support for easily even copying these shapes at each corner like this, you know. And with this you already, you know, look at that. And we can do like animation, we can do rotation, and these will start to rotate like that. So now we have wind power here, and the four winds, north, south, west, east. The Indians, the Native Americans especially, they believed in the four winds and calling to the powers of those. So this is an archetypal energy configuration where we can kind of like see the four winds. Yeah, that's a semi-joke, but anyway. Then like what else? So yeah, that's basically the grids. This will enable a lot of much easier manipulation of the layers. Then let's delete a lot of layers and let's create a new one here. I'll show you another one, good feature. Let's create something like that. And now something I've been working on is this bead pulse effect, which means let's change the line color a little bit, increase that. So we have this effect now that where we animate, the layers are now, they can have this highlight effect. So we can set the beat per minute, so it's synchronized to that beats per minute. It's not very clear, maybe we have to change this. This is still under work, I just implemented this yesterday. So you can do like stuff like that, tum 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 tum, you know, sync it to the drums. And oh, seems there's a bug with that. I don't know what's going on. Let's try again. I'll create a new scene. This is still work in progress. So you can create like stuff that animates to your music easily, like that. And with this, you can create pretty cool stuff. If I copy this and I can change the phase offset, so it means the beats are going off to a certain phase offset, which means you can create this kind of stuff. Let me show you a little bit like that. So with this, it's you can sync your patterns to music. Let me show you if I have a cool one here, like here's something I made, tested yesterday. This has also the background video support here showing that. But yeah, this is one cool feature that is coming. Still finishing that one, but now let's go to the cool one. Also a totally new feature. So it's called, or improved feature, apply parameter value with expression. So with this we can now apply parameter values with our JavaScript expression here. So let me show you. I'll copy like actually we don't have to do that either. I'll do a new layer. I'll make 6 copies, or 12. Let's make 12. So they're all now the same size. What if I wanted to easily size them so that they're equally distant from each other? So I just select all with space like that. Then actually I can go here and or I can do this. I have the radius parameter here, which controls the radius of the layers like this. But it can be a lot of work to do it manually. Just go through 12 layers and set the radius to whatever we want. Of course, it's part of the discovery process. You do it like this and you copy and, you know, but maybe we already have like a bunch of layers in the scene and we want to modify all of them at once. So now I press Ctrl Y, and I can also do it like click on the radius here and press Ctrl Y. It opens this dialog. This is like sets a parameter value for all selected layers from the result of evaluated JavaScript expression. What this means is we can set the value of radius for all the layers based on their index. So let's say we want to set it to 10 times the index of the layer. We just type 10 times I, which means, okay, we apply that. Wow. But let's make it a little bit bigger, like 40 or 50 or something like that. I like that, but that's a little bit boring. So what is powerful here, we can use the whole JavaScript math library. So we can add math sin, and to create a sinusoidal increment. So let's say we want to do it 30 plus maths, like a sinusoidal curve. So we want to do 2 times math pi. So we divide it by the range of the sine function, because sine operates on pi values. It always returns values for 2 times pi in that range. So we can add the height here, and now, okay, it's a very small value because it's like in the range of 2 pi. So we're gonna multiply that with like, let's say 60 or something. Oh. But it returns, let's do like that. Let's multiply with 500, 300. But you can see like, okay, there's a, let's set some divider there, maybe I time. Oh, you can test out different values, just like iterating on. But with this you can like create interesting shapes very fast, like this. So here you can see it maybe better. And maybe if we copy more layers here, or I can actually show the animation. So now if I animate this, it's doing this kind of scaling. But what if we wanna, I can show you actually it's better to do with a new layer. And we copy the layer again 12 times, it's animating on top of each other. So like that. And now we, if we wanna animate like when you scale the layers, they all have a different phase in the animation. So if we wanna set the animation phase, which is this one, we can do like click here and calculate this with a math sin. For example, like this, to create interesting animation patterns like that. So now the phase of the animation is set to a sinusoidal value. I think this one has like a 0. It looks a little bit odd because of that. Or one of these goes back to the, it's this one. Well, anyway, you can do interesting stuff with this, and you can of course change colors and everything. But it's a subject of another video. I just wanted to show you the improvements. So the one new improvement that we have over the last version is that you can now you can actually set the, for example, the radius of, if I copy this 12 times, save all, and let's change the radius. You can actually easily set a relative value now by using the previous layer parameter value using PV, radius plus 10. It means it will add 40 to whatever was the radius of the layer before the current one. And if you're with the first one, it will return 0. So this will become 40, the next one 80, 120, 160, 200 and so on. And with this you can do very powerful stuff, and we can add here like also like stuff like that to make it a little bit more interesting maybe. Well, you can experiment that with that, but with this we can already see beautiful shapes coming out of that easily. So those were for the kind of the major features, new features for the 1.5 version. But of course we have like more features. We have siphon output for macOS, which means you can now stream the video output to another app, for example Resolume or OBS. And in macOS we're gonna have spout support. Gonna do another video about that. And we have various UI improvements, bug fixes. A lot of stuff has been changed for this version to enable especially pro users who have been using our app for a long time to express more. And we will iterate over 1.5 during the next year hopefully, and improve MIDI support and try to get this app out to big screens. We're gonna get people who are creating art especially to enable real-time control with MIDI controllers and projection mapping and stuff like this. So that's one of our goals for the next 1.5.0 or 1.5 series of releases. So we hope with this we can get our app out to the world more, and people will see this art, they will be affected by the art, they will hopefully understand maybe, hey, this tree grows similarly as these patterns I'm seeing on the screen. Like what is the pattern of our reality? So this is what we wanna help people understand, and it's not something that can be explained very easily. It's something you just have to experience. So that said, thank you for watching this video, and we will update more videos on the future about the progress of OmniGeometry and one mandala. This was Sakari. Thank you, and keep on exploring.